Okay, so this is take 2 of this. Usually I wouldn't do this. However, I did I came to a realization that the original program version of the Metcon will be far more challenging than it should be. So we'll come back to that. For the class in general, have them warm up before you get them front squatting. Give, like, as you're instructing, right when you're done instructing, have them do a few practice warm-up squats. You can even just be like, hey, like, let's do a set of 5 tempo front squats. You're gonna go down, lowering for 3 seconds, pause in the bottom, active pause, by the way, right? They're not just sinking down. 2-second pause in the bottom, stand back up, right? So just to get them kind of like used to the movement, but then also to hammer away the points that you're gonna talk about, which is 1, elbow position, right? Straightforward. We don't want to be doing front squats down like this. We want them as up high as possible. 2 is going to be shoulders, right? So it's one thing to do this, right? Elbows are up, but you can see my shoulders are running forward. I want to pull them back and maintain that for the entire set. So the third one is going to be the core, which again, breathing, bracing is the most important thing that you can do for any barbell movement. It does not matter what it is, if it's a squat, a pull, or a press, right? So we always want to make sure that we're going to be breathing properly. But again, in that set of like warm up or whatever, or like that, basically like that class demonstration where you all do it, those are the 3 things you're looking for. You're looking for shoulders back, looking for the elbows up, and then people are bracing appropriately. So again, it's always breathe into the belly and then flex your abs, okay? You don't want to do one or the other. If at the very least you can flex your abs, like that is probably like the more important one, but together is what makes it work. So always make sure, encourage people that when they get underneath the bar, they brace before they bring the barbell out of the rack, and that's really important. And it's going to come into a big play when we have these higher rep sets here, okay? Because they don't want to hold their breath for 10 reps. You can technically, but it's not going to go well. So encourage them to keep the abs flexed the entire set, but always in between reps, breathe. So at the top of the rep, they can still have that flex, right? They're still gonna have a tight core. However, instead of, just holding their breath at the top, they're gonna breathe out, and they're gonna breathe back in, and then they're gonna go down into the bottom of the squat. So with that, the front squats themselves, when you get to them, right, just keep an eye on people as they're moving, making sure they're, again, holding on to those things. The big one I would actually focus on is the breathing, just because it's, you can't see it, right? You really have to pay attention to see how people are moving with that. But the big one, try and have them hit a set every like 2:30 or so, right? They have 6 working sets. It goes 10, 8, 6, 6, 4, and 4. They do want to increase weight every single set. They're probably going to want to have a couple of warm-up sets beforehand, probably like 2, before they get to that first working set of 10. They're going to try and start anywhere from 50 to 60-ish% for that set of 10 and then build from there, right? But they're just going to get some good volume in. They're going to have to focus too, right? Like a set of 10 is not easy on any kind of squat, so make sure that they're moving well for those ones, and they'll probably just carry over for the heavier sets later. But other than that, the front squat is quite straightforward for today. This is going to be a good opportunity for those that have never front squatted as well, only because the reps are going to start high. They're going to be using lighter weight anyways, and then they'll have that chance to build in weight just a little bit. Yeah, so that should be pretty straightforward. Like I said, every 2:30 or so, maybe 3 minutes if they get to these heavier sets here in terms of rest, but just make sure that you're kind of like on them and making sure that they are hitting sets like relatively often. Again, like Meg goes kind of like drill sergeant-y with it, which I do understand, but at the same time, like, strength doesn't have to be stressful all the time, right? We can still go in there and like have a good time. Other than that, not to worry. For the Metcon, again, I did change it just 10 minutes ago because I realized that 20 dumbbell box step-ups with 250s for myself would even be challenging, right? So obviously I could do it, but it would cripple any regular class goer. So instead of the 4 rounds of 40 double unders, 20 dumbbell box step overs with 250s, is instead going to be one dumbbell, and it's going to be a front rack hold. So they're going to hold one dumbbell head in each side, and they're going to maintain this position, right? Same front squat position that they would for the bar, but they're going to do that with the step ups instead, right? Because even though it's at the side here, 2 dumbbells would be way too much. So the new workout will be 4 rounds, 40 double unders, 20 dumbbell box step overs with a front rack, and then 10 pull-ups. So going to the workout now, 16-minute time cap. No one will need longer than that. I'm expecting most people will probably finish with about 12 minutes or so or less. We'll get grippy. It'll be just a great overall like body workout, right? Like it's a pretty good combo. Things to remember: 40 double unders, not doubling or tripling anything anymore. We will never do that again. It will always be the same amount of reps with a single under or a jumping jack or a mountain climber, right? It's gonna take longer to do those 80 single unders than it would to do 40 double unders. So instead of being punished with having to take longer as well, like, you may as well just keep the reps the same, right? Keep it across, and we'll just encourage people to work on their double unders, right? And that's the one thing that we do want to make sure that we're going to change moving forward, is that they have opportunities to do so. But yeah, reps stay the same, just they can do a single under instead. The dumbbell box step ups. Most people, like, this is like the bottleneck of the workout for sure. It's 10 reps per side. They want to alternate. They want to make sure that they're going to step all the way up, lock out their hips at the top before they come back down. And then they also, they just need to maintain that front rack position. That's the only harder part here, is that they do have to hold the one dumbbell here, but it won't be too bad, I don't think. So with that, same things as the front squats, right? Elbows up, shoulders back, keep the core engaged as they're stepping. Make sure you kind of avoid people stepping up like this, right? They're gonna kind of finish here, but they're gonna be stepping up onto the box like this. Keep them with their chest up the entire time, okay? Encourage them to get their foot into the middle of the box so that they can use as much of the back of the body to lift, and then also just give them a better leverage to keep their chest upright as they're doing it. But other than that, for the pull-ups, kind of like, not everyone's going to be able to do the pull-up, and that's all right, but you are going to want to encourage people to try and get onto the bar if they can. It shouldn't take any more than 2 sets, I would think, like even like a 5 and 5, a 6 and 4, 7 and 3, whatever it is, right? Have people try and get on that bar. Bandage trick pull-up is fine here. Kipping pull-up is obviously ideal, but if they can't do that, like if for someone's not used to pulling yet, like if they're new to the gym, new to CrossFit, whatever it is, a ring row will do okay here, and that's just because that's a great intro into actually pulling body weight in some fashion, right? So with that, encourage them, get as horizontal as possible. Don't just have them standing up doing ring rows like this, right? Get them down a little lower, and then that should work pretty well for most people. But for the most part, very straightforward. Like I said, I'm thinking 12 minutes is pretty reasonable for where most people will finish, but they do have that 16-minute time cap. You can change it to 15 as well, or 14, right? Like, this is not supposed to be a long workout. It's just supposed to be pretty quick, kind of hit everything at once, and then be good to go. But yeah, so again, the workout did get changed slightly, but no big deal. Not only that, it'll work better for equipment purposes as well. We only have so many 50s, we only have so many 35s. So that is that.